So we've taken the bottom crust out and we've filled it. And we set it aside, and then the top crust is here. Remember, we are doing just a simple one. We do need a steam hole, and I prefer to do it before I put it on. Of course, it might be off center, but I want to also do something a little bit more intricate. So let's just hope it's in the middle, which it looks like it is. Have just a pretty little leaf steam hole. There you go. And now using your saran wrap similar to what we did before, you're going to place this on top. However, I was about to forget one thing. I do take that chilled water that we had before, and I just kind of brush it lightly on that bottom crust. And it kind of acts as a little bit of glue, if you will. It moistens up and warms up that outer edge a little bit. Yeah. We're going to flip it, and because it's still very chilled, it's very stiff, and it makes this really easy. See how easy that was? It just kind of comes right up. Now we've got some crazy overhangs here, right? And some shorter areas. Again, patching is important. Let's clear some things out of the way. Now, find your edges first. So gently push down. You're going to take those scissors you had before. You're going to even out now. What's kind of nice about this extra crust that you're cutting off is you could make some leaves. Crimp down. Did you see how I did that? Crimp down. Crimp down and under. Tuck under. I'm spending some time here in this little corner because that was like that bad patch job. So I'm checking behind there just to make sure everything is all closed up. So fold under, crimp under, fold under, under. So now you're going to go around again, and now you get to have some fun. And you can crimp using your fingers. I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to move the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I just want you to see the finger technique. See how I'm kind of taking my thumb and my pointy finger and pushing against each other. Do you see how I'm doing that? To create kind of a really pretty wave. There's so many pretty edges you can make. There's a really great pie cookbook that Martha Stewart came out with that I just adore, and she, also being the big baking goddess that she is, has all kinds of fun, interesting geometric things you can do. So So that's like just a simple crimped edge, and we know that our seams are all taken care of because we took our time. Now if you want, with this extra dough, and I think I do want, because there's so much of it and it's so yummy, we could make some pretty decorations. This leaf cutter, I got at Williams-Sonoma. It came in a set of 4, and actually what's really great is it has a little indentation that you can add some details if you want by just pressing down gently. So I think that's good. So the other thing that needs to happen, I like to put just an extra few steam holes. I just gently cut right there with a nice sharp knife, just gently. Now, one final thing that needs to happen with this pie. You know, different people like to dress the top differently as far as, do you want an egg yolk glaze? Do you want a milk glaze? Do you want a cream glaze? Do you want to not do anything? I've run the gamut. Because of this particular recipe, I'm going to be sprinkling some sea salt on top. So I'm going to be brushing the top with some egg yolk, just a lightly whipped egg yolk, and then sprinkle some sea salt on top. Meanwhile, the oven has been going, and it's really important, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but that baking sheet that's sitting at the bottom of that oven needs to be in there at 425 for a good 20 minutes. It allows that baking sheet to be really hot and really act as that baking stone that we're looking for the pie. So let me get the egg yolk, we'll dress the top and get this thing going. I have just a lightly beaten egg yolk and a pastry brush. I'm just going to lightly brush the top with the egg yolk. I'm going to sprinkle, oh, sorry, getting a little, some gray sea salt. And now it's going to be ready to be put at the bottom of the oven on our baking sheet. Okay. So we're going to carefully put that right on there. Scoot our parchment over. And gently put it back in there. And off it goes. I pulled out the pie for a sec, because as you can see, things are getting brown already, and a lot of that has to do with that egg yolk. But at any rate, it's going to brown up super fast, so I'm just going to put that foil ring on there gently and carefully. And it may end up that in about 20 to 30 minutes, I don't see bubbling apple syrup, and the crust is getting really brown, but I feel like the apples aren't keeping up. I will then tent the pie with foil basically it's taking tin foil, just kind of loosely wrapping it and creating a steam hole in the foil as well. And having that go for about 10 minutes will help the apples get caught up and protect the crust from browning even more. So our pie is ready to come out. It's been about 55 minutes, and as you can see, it's nice and golden brown on top, and the apples and the syrupy yumminess is all bubbling nice and thick. I didn't need to tent it, which is great. The apples came right along with the crust at a good pace. So we'll just let it sit out. Pies like to sit out for maybe like 2 to 3 hours so that everything gets thickened up and set. So don't ever really cut into a pie once it comes out of the oven. It will be too liquidy and you'll be really sad. All that hard work will have gone to waste. Everything needs to set. The flour that you put in with your filling needs to thicken up. And even if you wait 2 to 3 hours, the pie should stay relatively warm still. And you can always heat it up a little bit before you serve it with some vanilla ice cream. So enjoy. I hope you learned some great tips about how to make a perfect pie crust.